If you're a filmmaker watching YouTube, odds are you've probably at least thought about starting a channel of your own. But then maybe you dismiss the idea because you don't want to chase sponsors or shill LUT packs. You want to actually be a filmmaker. And I get it. From the outside, it can feel like YouTube only works if you're reviewing gimbals or flying FPV drones, and that's not the path for a lot of creative people. But after seeing how YouTube has transformed my business, I can say that if you've wanted to give it a try yourself but haven't, you're potentially missing out on levels of visibility and opportunities that no portfolio site or Instagram feed can match. But I didn't just want you to hear it from me, so in this video, I called up 3 other full-time filmmakers who run side hustle YouTube channels to show you how they've used YouTube to support their careers without selling out, and how you can do the same. So I started this channel during COVID when all my international documentary work went away overnight. I didn't really know what to expect when I hit that first upload, but over the years, it's completely changed my business in ways that I would never have imagined. And in the age of affordable cinema cameras and the coming waves of perfect AI junk content that's gonna flood social media, no matter what stage of your film career you're at, I'd argue that this is a smart time to focus on your personal branding and online presence. Because when perfection becomes the norm, you're not gonna be able to wow clients with amazing frame grabs on Instagram like you used to. And if you want to break through the noise and get your work out there, I think it would be a mistake to ignore the kind of exposure you can get on YouTube because you're worried about being a sellout. And so many of us, including myself a few years ago, were hesitant because we don't want to have to present some hyper energetic front character to drive views that doesn't feel authentic to who we are or what we want to achieve creatively. But whether that's sharing career advice or breaking down your creative process or BTS from your shoots, there are so many different ways to make YouTube work for you. So I reached out to the people behind 3 of my favorite channels and asked them how they've been able to incorporate YouTube into their business in a way that doesn't feel sleazy, so that you can hopefully see that there are options out there for everyone and a lot of upside. But first, I'm gonna let them speak to what pulled them towards YouTube in the first place.
I've been doing this for 10 years now. Started off as a video journalist working in kind of traditional newsrooms. And then in 2018, I went fully freelance. And the reason that I initially reached out to you and started to think about taking YouTube seriously, the reason that I started to develop kind of a strategy on YouTube was because I never liked the feeling that I was waiting for people to call me, waiting for opportunities to come my way. I'm always trying to be proactive and feel like I can control, at least in some little way, the opportunities that I might find. And so I just put those pieces together and thought, well, instead of waiting for people to find me or stumble onto my website, which is never gonna happen, or even look at the credits of something that I worked on as a cinematographer, which is extremely rare.
It's also never gonna happen.
Also never gonna happen.
What might happen is they ask the director, hey, who'd you work with?
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what inspired me to start crafting some educational content about documentary filmmaking and trying to find my own voice and my own style here on YouTube, which is continually a work in progress.
I started a YouTube vlog out of initially boredom, but also a desire to give back a little bit to the community. So I'm on the road a lot, traveling a lot, hotel rooms, airport layovers, and I was just looking for something to do. And so I started shooting BTS stuff. And also I was pivoting out of these big NDA heavy traditional media projects where you can't talk about it to these smaller, looser shoots where in a lot of cases it was encouraged to do your own social media publishing to help build brand awareness. And so that became the Cranky Cameraman.
And so you never had any business motivation? It was all just for fun?
No desire, or it didn't cross my mind to create a YouTube channel as a marketing effort for my business. It was more a desire to give back to the community.
I have been fortunate to never had a real job. I worked at a skate park for 4 years. And I lasted 3 days in a restaurant until I found like mashed potatoes behind my ear when I was showering. And I was like, I'm not cut out for this. Like, I can't do this. But I was always filming with a camera, filming skateboarding. And then, you know, the skate park says we're doing a contest. And then the local brand says, can we do a little commercial? And it was lining up right when making videos and posting videos was getting much easier. So there's like more demand for that. And it grew into me having a little bit of, well, I want to have my own business. I don't want to depend on other people to get me jobs. It's just like, I'm sure you've seen it. It's just like things just start to attract towards you when you get more eyeballs. And in turn, I can create bigger opportunities for myself and even for others.
Now that was really interesting for me because my motivations were very similar to these guys. I wanted to stay productive and to give back to the film community and take back control of my creative output. Because David just said something that's really important. No matter why you decide to start posting stuff on YouTube, if you stick with it, it really does create opportunities seemingly out of nowhere that probably never would have happened otherwise. Like, I've personally been approached for things like car commercials in Europe that never in a million years would have come my way based on my documentary website. So next I asked these guys what kinds of opportunities they were finding that they didn't expect.
One thing that's interesting that I didn't foresee YouTube helping me with is now when I'm trying to get work as, say, a cinematographer on a documentary project I'm interested in. Nowadays, not only do I send work samples, but I actually send my YouTube channel to potential clients because I use it as a demonstration of what my skills look like. For example, if it's a documentary that has lots of interviews, I now have videos on my channel where I'm showing my whole setup, what I'm capable of as a solo DP, the gear I have. And those are always questions that come up. What gear do you have? Like, are you able to do things alone or do you need a big team? I have a video that's going to prove to them that I can do it and give them confidence. Not only that, but
yeah, dude, I'll just jump in there because I think that's such a huge thing that people don't realize is like your website your website is missing the most important information, which is what are you like as a person? Like basically it's like the ultimate vibe check, you know?
Yeah.
People are worried about hiring a stranger over the internet. And one YouTube video, especially when you get kind of good at it, they watch it and they're like, oh, I see this guy. He's normal, well-adjusted.
That was the other thing I was going to add. It's not necessarily just showing the skill set. It's also showing my personality.
I was a Ari Amira shooter, owner-operator for a full 10 years. Bought my first camera in 2014 and used those all the way up through 2024. But my customer base had pivoted from bigger productions to these one-man band things. And the Sony pipeline is just the preferred and most requested camera system. So I started with an FX9, then an FX3, and at that stage I was looking, the Amirs were getting a little bit older and I needed something a little higher resolution, and the Burano looked like it was going to be the right fit. And me just talking about that on my YouTube channel led to contact from Sony's digital cinema group. They're like, hey, we want to send you a camera to test, but like no pressure, no obligations. They're just like, we'll send you a camera, you can hang on to it for a bit, you know, we're gonna need it back at some point, but you know, take it out on some shoots, see if it's the right system for you to upgrade to. And that led to this fantastic relationship with Sony. And now I've got direct contact to engineers at the company, the marketing side, the sales side.
So many effects from doing YouTube. One is I used to have to really try to push my network out, and now the network comes in. There's been so many times where just because I've said, my name's David, I live in Orlando and I do corporate interviews, other people will retain that information, and when an Orlando job comes across their desk and they can't do it or they need help to do it, it's easier for them to go to the person, oh yeah, I've already seen that guy in Orlando. Let me look him up. Maybe I don't remember his name, but I know he's in my subscription list. And then I get hired. I get a nice, juicy email that says, hey, you don't know me? I want to give you money. It's right in your town. Easy work. Cool. It feels like I didn't have to work for that at all.
Okay, so those are all pretty big upsides for sure, and it's been more or less the same for me, honestly. It really is true that at a time when so many people have solid technical camera skills, the more you can show people that you're the kind of person they actually want to work with, so like your personality, your energy on set, stuff like that, that's gonna make it so much easier for them to hire you. Access to gear has also been really helpful because, like David Winter said, you don't need a huge channel to start forming relationships with brands. And there's lots of ways it can help you even without doing doing sponsored videos. Like, I'm about to head out on a long shoot in the Arctic and my slider is broken. I was able to reach out to the brand, get a replacement sent to my house, and all I have to do in exchange is show how I'm using it in the field, which I'm gonna be doing anyways. But obviously, YouTube can't be 100% good all the time, so next I asked what they didn't like to bring things back down to reality for a second.
What don't I like about YouTube is it requires consistent effort. So if you have made it an enjoyable process, it's not too big of a deal. And if you make it hard on yourself, that can be where you get burnt out and where it doesn't become like a fun creative exercise. In my opinion, that's how it should be. At least that's what I'm trying to make mine. The other thing would be it's very easy to look at the structures of other people's channels and see them have success and say, okay, well, that's not really what I want to do, but I want that success, so maybe I should do that.
The first year of YouTube, I was outsourcing to an editor. Pretty much all of this year, I've been editing myself. Yeah.
Interesting. And how do you, because that takes a lot of time to cut these videos down. How do you make that work?
I've been making that work just because I simplified what my videos look like. So nowadays, I'll kind of front load some of the B-roll edits that come into the video in like the first minute or 2 minutes of the video. And then as the video goes on, it becomes, if it's a video where I'm talking to camera, almost like just my face for the majority of that time.
And you're writing a lot of those videos out in a lot of detail, right? And you've already shot the doc, you're finding the story later, you're writing a script, and then you're doing A-roll, B-roll format, is that right?
So yeah, for some of my videos, that's the workflow. So it's like, sit down, write the script, put it on the prompter, read it, and then bring it into an edit, and then I layer some B-roll on top of it.
So you chop everything down, and then you dump B-roll over top, and you have a script.
Yeah.
I feel like you should try that. I don't know if you saw the video where I was talking about Eddy AI, but like that's the perfect use case scenario for something like that. Like, you can feed it an interview track and a script, and it will just, in like 3 minutes, just put out the entire chopped up interview track based on the script, and it'll still show you all the throwaway takes, but it'll make recommendations. You could even go one step further, dump all the B-roll clips into the B-roll logger, and it will generate things up to 10 minutes, I think. For me, the biggest friction for YouTube was there was a period before I decided to invest in an editor where I was cutting everything myself. And that, as soon as I got a job, I ran out of time to edit, and I could no longer keep up the channel, and it died for about 3 months. And then I eventually hired an editor. And I think that's what stops a lot of people from consistency, but I don't know, it's something to check out, because I feel like it actually has the potential to speed up these kind of workflows a lot. And for you, it sounds like the creative and artistic part is in the scripting and the planning of the video, and the editing sounds a lot more technical rather than creative. So it might be the kind of thing that you could outsource and save yourself a couple hours.
Yeah, definitely worth experimenting with.
Now I'm going to reach out to Eddy and see if they want to sponsor this video. Let's see if I can. No, but honestly, I think, and also for things like cutting up shorts and like all the parts of the post-production process that I really don't like and I find uncreative, I think genuinely it can actually do very fast. So have a look into that. Okay, so even though that was a joke and it was just an organic part of the conversation, I did actually reach out to Eddy and they did agree to sponsor this video. So that's a pretty clear demonstration of how a channel can generate opportunities for you. Because of my heavy travel schedule and the way I make videos personally, I need to keep an editor on monthly salary or I'd never get the videos made. So a sponsored video about a product I actually like and use that then pays for that cost and allows the channel to keep running in a way that fits my professional and personal life is kind of great. Anyways, I'm not trying to give a lesson on YouTube economics, but I thought that was a pretty great real world example. The good news is that they hooked me up with a promo code to pass on to you, which will get you 30% off your first 3 months or off the full annual plan by using the code Luke30 or Luke30 annual respectively. Because I meant everything I said. For me, it was the editing that killed me, and still now working with a dedicated editor, it's the most expensive and the slowest part of the process. When I was just starting up the channel and there was no way I was going to pay for an editor, a tool like Eddy would have saved me probably like 5 hours hours a week of just tedious work like Austin and I were just talking about. Anyways, I said it all already, but thanks to Eddie for keeping this channel going, and I'll put the link and the discount codes in the description if you want to give it a try for yourself. But getting back to what the guys have to say about the downsides of YouTube, David Winters touches on one of the only truly horrible things about being visible online.
I don't know. It's so easy to throw hate and shame behind an anonymous keyboard, but as you know, it's so hard to go out and make stuff. And that's the encouragement I'd give. It's like, just if you're frustrated because you're not working, and like, look at this guy on YouTube, he's working. I could have done a much better job than he could have. Like, cool, go make stuff. Like to this day, I'm 27 years into full-time doing this, plus another 6 years while I was in school. I still, if I'm idle for a calendar week, I lose my skill set.
I mean, yeah, that's very valid, and I know how rough it can be when things get nasty in the comments. Actually, when I think about it, the fact that this became a sponsored video after I put "without selling out" in the title is probably gonna get some people going for sure, but what would the internet be without anonymous anger, I guess?
I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Now, I actually have a fantastically supportive community in general, but even with 99.9% positivity, there's always gonna be that one voice telling me I have no idea what I'm talking about, or how they're shocked that I didn't mention their brand of camera or whatever. And it does get to you if you let it. But like David said, if those people could do so much better themselves, they'd be doing it, not commenting on your video, so who really cares? And apart from the time investment of making each video, YouTube really can feel like a endless hole of effort that will never be full no matter how much energy you shovel into it. But I do agree that if you're talking about something that really aligns with you and what you like, it's not gonna feel like such a chore. So with that in mind, my next question was how each of them had found a way to make YouTube fit into their business in an authentic way so that they've actually enjoyed the process. Because none of these guys got into YouTube to be famous influencers, it's all in support of their larger professional career. Yet they found a way to do it differently while being true to themselves and their business.
I think I'm constantly evaluating how I want my YouTube channel to be a presence in my life. I am really trying to make sure that it is prioritized in alignment with the way I want to live my life, which is I never want to spend time recording a video or editing a video for YouTube right now when I have actual client work that's paying me. And sometimes that was really hard for me because I set this like weekly deadline and I found myself, a night or two before the video is supposed to come out on YouTube, and I'm grinding away, exhausting myself in the night and putting off work that I actually am getting paid to do. And I had to remind myself, like, Austin, let off the weekly cadence because you're actually deprioritizing the thing that you said you were getting on YouTube to get. You have it already.
And we'd have these conversations in the car and at lunch on set. And I thought, there was a void in the YouTube and social space for that type of quality business content for freelancers. And so I thought, well, this is a great opportunity to try to share some of these one-on-one conversations I've been having for decades, one-on-one. I try to capture content on shoot days before and after the actual component I've been hired to do. So the prep side, transport or load in, and then maybe during lunchtime is when I spray the room and show the setup. And I work really hard to keep my end clients anonymous or invisible. That's why I blur faces, I blur brands. A lot of that now, because I'm doing smaller level content, is not NDA driven. It's just a desire to not create any backlash with a client.
I don't enjoy sitting at a desk and doing product reviews. Like I'm antsy, I need to go outside. It takes too long to set everything up. I live in a 1-1, I don't have a studio. So what do I enjoy? I like taking my phone out, filming whenever I see something that looks interesting on set, or not when I'm on set. I've put a bunch of extracurriculars in my vlog: surfing, skateboarding, finding freshwater springs. Those are the things I like to do. So those are the things I'm gonna put in there. And then I open up the free version of CapCut. I edit it all together and then I upload to YouTube and a title and I click post and then I'm done. It never makes it to a computer. If I had to transfer a card, not one vlog would have ever been made. It's way too much work for me. I need to be able to just lower the bar right below or right above clicking upload, and then that's my level of what I can handle, and then post it. And it makes me feel good because it doesn't feel like a chore.
Now, I love hearing that because each of these guys really do approach YouTube in a way that feels unique to them, and that's something people need to hear when they're thinking about starting a channel, but maybe they're worried that they'll have to be the next Casey Neistat or nothing. All right, so this video is getting pretty long, but before I wrap it up, I want to ask one last question. Knowing what they know now, would they recommend giving YouTube a try to other filmmakers?
I think if filmmakers want more opportunities, I think if filmmakers want to have some sort of control over their own distribution platform and who their projects are reaching, I think that YouTube is absolutely a place that folks should look. And I think that they should just be really honest with the fact that it does take a lot of work and defining what success looks like to them. It's definitely not like a quick money maker or quick fame or anything like that. YouTube can be a beautiful place, whether you're Luke Forsythe and have 150,000 subscribers and the opportunities that's coming with that, the 13,000 that I have, or honestly just having 500, and YouTube is this place where you occasionally express yourself. I think it can only be a positive.
The cool part is like when you hit upload for the first time, it's like rolling the dice. You're like, I don't know. And I didn't go viral on the first one. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I thought I would. I don't know. I thought maybe I'd get 1 million views. All right, now I got 45 views. All right, cool. Well, it was fun to do, so I'll keep doing it. Every time I hit upload, it feels like I'm like hitting the slots, and I'm just like, I don't know, let's see what this one does. And sometimes it's triple cherries, and sometimes it's not. If I can make the process fun and not the outcome fun, then the whole thing is enjoyable. But if I'm just doing all this work to grind, and then click upload, and then just staring at the views, I'm like, come on, go up. That's not fun at all. So I like the process of doing what I'm doing.
What's interesting, when I'm out on a news assignment and there's a bunch of other national media crew there, I have other photojournalists and producers that come up to me and start conversations, and they know who I am from the YouTube channel, which is weird and surreal. But people will engage with you because they feel they already have a relationship established with you. They kind of understand my thought process. And that's organically in person led to some new business for me. It's not like an email or a phone call from someone that watches my YouTube channel. It's like they watch my content, then they run into me in the field, and then that turns into a future project. And that's something I never would have anticipated.
Okay, so that's it for today. Hope you found that as interesting as I did, because when I was originally debating whether or not to start a channel of my own a few years ago, I would have loved to hear those stories. So many common experiences and benefits there, and now I'm kind of more convinced than ever that anyone who's been curious about using YouTube to boost their creative career should give it a go if they want. You might not turn into the next Mr. Beast, but if you stick with it, I guarantee something good will happen. Oh, and if you do decide you want to speed up your post workload, don't forget to check out Eddy AI and use the code Luke30 or Luke30annual to get 30% off, because the time savings might just be the difference between keeping your channel going and quitting. Boom, how's that for selling out? See ya.